Habs trade rumors are escalating as a new rumor sees the Habs landing Edmonton Oilers disgruntled goalie Jack Campbell. We'll be diving into that and the crazy implications that could have, plus a crazy stat about the Montreal Canadiens and just how many first-round picks they've been icing. But first, we're going to get into a bit of a game recap, Habs versus Lightning, in a game that saw some highs and some lows, all on this episode of Habs Digest. So like we said, Jesse, we're going to start off with the Habs Lightning recap. Suzuki and Monahan, they keep rolling, and really, those were some of the biggest positives. That, along with Sam Montembeault. And look, this game was not pretty. It ended 5-3 with one goal with 18 seconds left from Dvorak, and a nice 2-goal rally in the third. But it was 4-0 before you knew it, Jesse. 4 goals on 9 shots in the first period. Jake Allen got pulled for Sam Montembeault, who came in and had a great performance. But honestly, after those first 4 goals, it was pretty even. And I mean, take a look at the final score. The Habs outscored the Lightning down the stretch with Monty in net. Definitely a rough start, but there were definitely some positives to take out of this game as well.
It's very true. It's one of those games where it just shows that the line of the margin of error in the NHL is really just so small. Because you see, kind of starting off, it's the Pearson, Monahan, Gallagher line. And then Pearson, he's skating down the ice with such purpose, skating hard. But then just a little turnover there, goes the other way, a one-timer to Kucherov, first shot of the game, and you're behind 1-0, right? So you're kind of saying to yourself, oh, okay, we're hoping it's not this type of game, but unfortunately kind of got away from us a little bit. But, as the game went on, we showed a lot of fight in that third period. And that's what I was happy about, that, we could at least show that resiliency, which we've come to expect from these Montreal Canadiens. It might have taken us for a minute to really get in this game, but we fought at the end, it was getting close. We were 4-2 and, then maybe just kind of a bad penalty when we were really getting the momentum, and then maybe kind of eliminate some chance of kind of having the comeback. But, overall, a nice effort at the end, just a little bit too late.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, a lot of fight, but for Arber Xhekaj might have been a bit too much fight as he was really getting into it with Tanner Jeannot. They dropped the mitts tonight, and then later in the game, they're right after the Habs scored 2 goals in about 30 seconds from Pezzetta, and his nice Suzuki one-timer on the power play as he continues rolling, and Monahan got an assist on that, continuing now his 6-game point streak. Xhekaj, just after these 2 goals, as the crowd is rallying, the momentum is there, he gets the extra 2 minutes for roughing on Tanner Jeannot as he punches him in the head and then the side, and it's like he can't do that. So a lack of discipline kind of hurt the Habs late. I mean, would they have come back? Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, it was a good performance overall. Matheson still looks to be struggling a bit. He was on the ice for all 4 goals against in the first period and all 4 goals against St. Louis. But Jesse, before we move on to the next topic, I wanted also Josh Anderson had a pretty good game, but what did you think about Slafkovsky tonight in his second game on the first line? Because I thought he looks more comfortable on this line than he has on almost, I think, any other line so far in his career.
I think you've summed it up perfectly by saying that. He just looks not only more comfortable on the first line, but just more comfortable out on the ice, period. I love that his teammates are kind of looking for him because, you got to gain that respect, right? And you got to gain that respect that'll get you those touches, that'll get you those passes. And I feel like he's slowly getting that. And that'll be for the best interest, I think, of all of us. I think before the end of the season, we're going to see Slav on that PP1. I see him just as he kind of replaced Josh Anderson on that first line. Again, no disrespect, but I think, Juraj Slafkovsky just has that skill that would be really needed there just to get those passes off. So again, showing a lot of great decision-making, defensively, I thought, getting in the way, breaking up some passes, some important passes, getting in along the boards as well. But overall, just looking pretty comfortable, getting pretty close to scoring tonight, and everything else. So yeah, definitely we're seeing the improvement from him.
Yeah, that nice play where he got it right in front of the net, kind of tried to turn his body and tuck it around the pad, and he almost did. It was a really nice, smooth play. He's using his body, he looks a lot more like an actual NHLer when he's going up on the boards, trying to chip a little puck in. He doesn't look as nervous anymore. He had a couple nice rushes where he was going towards the net, so just some positives, some improvements day by day for Juraj, and obviously we think it's going to turn into a great product long term. Let's quickly move on, though. We got a crazy Habs lineup stat, and this kind of ties into the game tonight as well. This is actually about the Saturday night's game, but it was a tweet from Grant McCagg, and he said the Habs regularly had a 5-man unit on the ice Saturday night, and also tonight, Tuesday, that featured 5 former first-round picks, talking about Barron, Guhle, Caufield, Suzuki, and Slafkovsky. Cannot recall the last time we saw that in the game. And if you think about it, the Habs have more first-round picks as well. Dach, who is injured, Monahan, first-round pick. You have guys like David Reinbacher, Logan Mailloux, who are on the way up. There's a lot of first-round pick talent on the Montreal Canadiens, and it's very true, Jesse. I mean, just think back to lots of different editions of the Montreal Canadiens, or even most teams in the NHL, it's not often you see 5 first-round picks like on the ice at once. Yeah, maybe you'll see it every now and then, but to have a consistent 5, like that 5 played a lot tonight together as well, as Guhle and Barron continue to show out as a defensive pair. And honestly, when I look at this group of 5 first-round picks, which is crazy to say, they look like a group that will just all fit perfectly together, especially a few years from now.
It's very, very true. And it's really just kind of, a symptom of us really building through the draft, which is amazing. And it's not only do we have, 5 first round, picks out on the ice all at the same time, but it's also 5 first round picks that they're going pretty well in their development for all of them. And that's been a thing with the Montreal Canadiens. Again, this is showing we're turning a chapter because we had so many issues with kind of developing our first round picks for the longest time. So the fact that we could have them out on the ice and to be doing so well. And I feel like this is so big for just having the long-term success for the Montreal Canadiens, because I feel like to be like a consistent competitor in the NHL, you need that type of pedigree. Like you need these type of first round, high skill type of players, right? Like it's so important because that's what allows you not just to be like a winner for 1 year, but especially when it's a young core that's growing up and we're going to have them in their prime, is this is the type of core that's going to allow you to have success year in, year out. We're seeing, right now that Guhle and Barron, they're among the top point producers as a pairing for defensemen in the entire league, being so young. So them finding that chemistry together is really big, and this young team getting to grow together. Obviously, Caufield, Suzuki, and Slafkovsky, and Caufield. It's amazing that not only do we have these first round picks, but they're playing together. They're getting to grow together, and that's really exciting for the future as well of where that'll bring them.
Yeah, it's awesome. And obviously, players getting picked in the first round, they get picked because they have potential or talent right away. And that's really what Montreal, like you said, is capitalizing on. You got these guys who are ready to grow together. They're all on the same trajectory. They all had that high pedigree coming into the NHL. They all had similar backgrounds, I'm sure, with their talent growing up. And that kind of stuff cannot just get thrown under the rug. Like, that matters, right? And it's clearly paying dividends so far for Montreal. We hope it will continue into the future. Let's move on to our final topic, and that is Habs trade rumors are escalating. And look, we had a video yesterday talking about Jake Allen, talking about the potential rumors of him going to the Edmonton Oilers. Well, guess what? An article came out today that kind of confirmed those. So in this article talking about potential goalie targets for the Oilers, they mentioned Jake Allen. He said he might be the best option for the Oilers. He's providing the Montreal Canadiens with excellent net mining to begin the year. Well, tonight, just throw it out the window. But they also say his $3.85 million contract runs till the end of next year. I imagine a package of Campbell and a good AHL level player, prospect, third or second round pick might be enough to make this happen. The Habs got Sam Monahan and an unprotected first round pick for nothing. And I know they wanted to get rid of that Monahan $6 million contract, but they had to pay, for 1 year Monahan, they had to pay an unprotected first just for Montreal to take him. And I feel like those prices have not gone down. I feel like that price for Campbell is very low. I'm also not sold on taking on Campbell's contract, Jesse. This rumor to me, like when we talked about it yesterday, we thought more of if Campbell can find a different home and they want to fill that hole with Allen, we can do it. But I don't know. What do you think of these rumors for the Habs actually trading for Jack Campbell?
We're hearing it all over the place right now. Even Darren Dreger was saying the same thing. But I think the Montreal Canadiens, we're trying to get rid of bad contracts and not take more on. With 5 more years of Jack Campbell, that's a lot of term to 2027. So I feel like Kent Hughes would be reluctant to take that on. But all the same, you got to feel like even if we're not taking back a goalie like the other way, it seems like Primeau would probably be, again, the most likely candidate. And if it's not now, then just as the season goes on, the likelihood of this trade happening just increases so much as more cap space gets accrued as that system works. So I mean, you got to feel like the Oilers, they're going to try and do something basically as soon as possible. They just put Campbell on waivers. They just recall somebody from the AHL, but they're looking to make a little bit more of a sustainable move. And you'd have to feel like almost Primeau would be an improvement over on anything what they have right now. So I mean, they're looking to make something happen. I just don't know what sort of return that we would get. And that's the only thing that makes me kind of reluctant with that.
Yeah, and I mean, look, they obviously, like we kind of mentioned, but they waived Jack Campbell today, and that is an indicator, at least to us, that they really, really, really want to move on from him, right? But it also, you got to think it's going to increase the price if another team's going to want to take him on, because they're like, you waived him. Like, if a team actually wants him, they can get him for free. And I think you get like the Oilers free up like $1 million in cap space. They can call up one of their AHL goalies. Stuart Skinner, I think they're just kind of like, we have more faith in Stuart Skinner, a younger guy who was a good rookie, rather than Jack Campbell, who's a veteran who has just really only had a couple of great seasons. Um, Jesse, if the Habs were to trade for Jack Campbell, and I know that they probably wouldn't want to, do you think if the Oilers decided to give an unprotected first plus maybe a third round pick and like a middling prospect, do you think that would be enough? Or even then, like, do you think basically if Kent Hughes is listening to Ken Holland of the Oilers and he's saying, hey, what do you think of Jack Campbell? Do you think he's just hanging up the phone immediately?
I think that Kent Hughes would respectfully decline, just because he wants to put his own kind of like he wants to put his own design on this team, and he's kind of being hampered by doing so right now, in the fact that there's so much money on the books with players, signed to contracts that maybe he wouldn't have signed. So it's really, I think, the last thing that he wants to do right now. He wants to have that flexibility to really craft this team to how he would really see fit. So even though with that being enticing, and we've seen him, kind of to take on, these deals in the past, and sometimes to get picks for them. I feel like this is in a situation where we really, really want to avoid that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And again, if there's a way the Habs can ship a goalie to Edmonton, if Edmonton wants to fill the gap, the void that's left by Campbell or Skinner or whatever they eventually decide to do with their goalie situation, if they free up some money, yeah, sure. But let us know down below, what do you think? Do you think there's ever a world where the Habs trade for Jack Campbell? We certainly don't. But this analyst who wrote this article, the Hockey News, they certainly think that they do. So yeah, let us know. Let us know down below. We're very curious to hear from you, because these, I love when I hear trade rumors, but rumors like this, it always requires a little critical thinking, a little second guessing. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys down below. But that'll do it for this edition of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We are extremely close to 8,500. We might even be past it by the time you're watching this video. And regardless whether we have or haven't, hit subscribe now. You won't regret it. We promise we get content like this all season long. I'm Josh Gosse for my co-host Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.